You can't come to Talladega without remembering one of the greatest performances in NASCAR history. Back in October of 2000, Dale Earnhardt Sr. from 18th position in 3 laps to go to take the win here. One of the most phenomenal efforts I have ever seen, and we were here to make that call, myself, the late Benny Parsons, and Ned Jarrett. What a memorable day. There's a look at the numbers. Rookie of the Year back in '79, a 7-time Nextel Cup champion, tying the King Richard Petty. His 76th and final win came here on that day in 2000. And, of course, who will forever forget when he finally won the Daytona 500 in 1998. And there's Dale Earnhardt Jr. as he is trying to himself set sail back toward the front, but he has got a ways to go because Carl Edwards now has gone back around Juan Pablo Montoya, as we now have had our 26th different lead change. We are 4 away from tying the record, and 16 different cars have led.
It looks like nobody's been able to hold the lead. These guys can get up there. We see Kevin Harvick getting a big push from Eric Almirola in the 20. They'll get a big lead, get out there, but they just don't seem to be able to hold the lead for any length of time.
Yeah, Andy, that's just what this aero package is about. It makes such a big hole that you get that run, and you see these guys way out front right now. But here, before they get back into turn 1, they're going to have company again. And it's just amazing. They get tucked up and get such a big run. 2 cars get away from them. But you're going to find out here in just a second that they're not going to be able to hold the lead either as another group of cars comes up.
Alan, you've got more on Carl Edwards?
Yeah, a couple quick things. First of all, he got shuffled out of line by his Roush teammate David Reagan a little while ago. He and Casey Mears in the 24 have worked really well together, but when Carl gets trapped in heavy traffic just like this, something begins to happen with his car, and you'll see him occasionally dart out of line. Listen.
24, I'm cool following him. I just got to keep the nose cool. I'm going to follow him for a lap or 2 more, though. No problem.
Overheating has been a problem for several cars on pit road today. So if you see that 60 pop out of line every now and then, he's just trying to keep the temperature under control. Just something else to think about when he's in all this heavy traffic.
Yeah, Alan, one of the problems with this real tight drafting is that you don't get any air in the front. When you got your front end and that grill right up on that bumper, there's hardly any air going in the front grill opening. So these guys can do that for a while. They can stay tucked in real tight, but then they'll have to breathe it, get it out there and get it some fresh air, cool the radiator back down, and it go back at it.
Yeah, we've heard Andy talk about the aerodynamics of these cars. We heard Tim Brewer talking about how important that is, the front of these cars. And so we're going to run as much tape as we possibly can on the front to make them go faster if we can get out front. The thing is, when you stay packed up like this, you're not getting any air to that. And so that makes it very difficult. Sometimes you just have to get out and breathe it a little bit.
That was a great shot from the bumper cam to show you that grill opening and how these guys tape it up. Try to restrict that flow a little bit just to get a little extra speed.
And you heard that radio communication. For more information, you can log on to ESPN.com, search word communications. Find folks at Nextel. Be able to hear that driver crew chief commentary and driver spotter commentary. A typical Talladega afternoon, lots of different lead changes, lots of different leaders, and no one seems to be able to stay there for very long.
No, we saw the 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. make his way up to the front just a few laps ago, and now he's back in 19th. I think Junior was just finding out exactly how long it was going to take him to get his car to the front so he can calculate that and be ready at the end of this race. Looks like we've got some hood pin problem maybe for the 20 car.
And there's a hood pin flapping on the front of Eric Almirola's car, who is our leader. We've already seen wood hood come flying up on Regan Smith's car, come right across the windshield. And Andy, as a crew chief, you see that, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm not too worried about that one hood pin being out of there. We got a good shot, a great camera shot there of the other 3 hood pins being secured. So I think NASCAR will be okay with having 3 in there. But if they get more than get another one that pops out of there, then I'd get worried.
Yeah, and it wasn't one of the outside ones. I think that's where you really get worried, because that hood could possibly bend up just a little bit, being one of the outside. But this being one of the 2 that towards the middle of the race car, as we see, chances are that everything will be okay there. And I think NASCAR, as you said, will be all right with that happening.
There's a look at the progression for Eric Almirola, the 23-year-old Tampa, Florida native, making his 6th start of the year. All the way up to 3rd position, now getting shuffled back there right in front of Steve Wallace in the Home Life Communities effort. We have now equaled the all-time NASCAR Busch Series record for lead changes at Talladega. 30 lead changes. 16 different cars have led as Kevin Harvick, now reigning NASCAR Busch champion, goes to the point, and here comes Montoya.
He has a really fast race car. Seems his car really runs good off the corner. He gets a good run there, and he had gotten a push from Greg Biffle to send him up there. Now he's going to need Biffle to get back to his bumper, or he's going to be hung out on the outside once again.
Yeah, the 42 car has been consistently at the front all day.
Right.
And trouble on a racetrack. A couple of cars involved. Biffle in the 16 car down across the grass. There's Greg Biffle sliding the former champion. John Wood in the 47 car.
Okay. Somebody got us in the right rear, guys. Turned his head on in the wall.
So caution for the 5th time a day, and John Wood was having a very good run, as was Greg Biffle, but John Wood just can't buy a break.
He sure can't. A very talented young man and driver, but that last 3 weeks just hasn't had any luck whatsoever. We have a look here at the replay. See Biffle right in the middle of the racetrack there. You got Carl Edwards coming up to him.
Oh, we see a big hard bump draft right there, and that was just, there was just too much closure rate. They were coming too fast into each other.
Yeah, and he was pushing him to the 42, and then the 16 car, Greg Biffle, couldn't go any further, and he got one more big shot, and that turned him to the right into the wall.
Biffle at 190 plus miles an hour with that Ford. Fusion comes across and just catches the right rear fender of John Wood. As we ride on board now with the 90 car of Stephen Light and see his point of view.
Go low here, bud. Go low. Good job, man. Good job. All right, talk to me when you get a chance. Just a little.
Oh, John Wood just can't catch a break. John Wood was one of those cars laying back with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Bobby Labonte and those guys. He'd been back in that other pack, and it looked like he had just kind of started making his move to the front, and then gets caught up in somebody else's wreck.
Well, there's an example that my deal doesn't work all the time either, so you just never know when it's gonna happen to you, and it is unfortunate for John Wood. That team is working extremely hard. I think the world of the Wood family, and John does have a lot of talent, but he just can't seem to be in the right place at the right time here recently.
All right, here's Shane Huffman, who is our Aaron's Lucky Dog Free Pass Award winner here. He will get his lap back. He is the first car 1 lap down here as we work the 5th caution flag of the afternoon, the U.S. Navy Chevrolet, and he will get back his lap that he was behind the leaders.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge break for Shane Huffman because he's got a fast race car, and now he's going to be able to get up here and race him.
Pit road is very busy right now. Mike Massaro.
Mike Bliss comes in running second. What a run for him. He started 31st. Problem, though, they still do not have 3rd gear. This was a blessing to have the caution come out here under yellow so they can pit. They can get off pit road a little quicker. Jamie.
Kevin Harvick came in, 1 can of fuel, no tires, guys. He says his foot hurts from pushing the throttle for so long. Dave.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. on pit road for 4 tires, but he may have a hole in the radiator because of debris. Don't see any water underneath, but water pressure going down. Allen.
For Casey Mears. Interesting because his left side tires were put on the car at lap 27, and he's going to go to the finish at 117 on those same tires.
Wow, take a look at the race off pit road. Marcus Ambrose, the Wood Brothers car, gaining 10 spots up to 7th position. Mears up 4. You heard Alan Bestwick say he took fuel only. Wow, how about those Goodyear tires on the 24 car? And Montoya up a couple of spots, but it was Harvick the first off of pit road. Under caution for the 5th time, this incident over in the backstretch.